by 21 Republicans and Democrats has been gaining traction in the Senate. Now, the bill proposes only a quarter, though, of the spending in the plan originally proposed by President Biden. It would not raise income taxes, but a few stumbling blocks, they do remain.
Part of the proposal was raising the federal gas tax to pay for the plan. It hasn't been raised since 1993, but progressives are not on board with that means of raising revenue.
Let's talk about it with our panelists. Today we have Amy Tarkanian, Republican strategist and former chair of the Nevada State Republican Party. We also have Ruth Edmonds, Ohio congressional candidate and former president of the Columbus NAACP, and Tom Borelli, contributor with Real America's Voice and Newsmax Insider. Thanks everyone for taking the time on this Monday. Maybe we're going to get right through it together here. Let's start with the 10 Democrats who signed on to this bill. Some say they're at risk of losing. The progressives on this, especially on that tax issue, we'll play this. This is Senator Bernie Sanders on Meet the Press. Here's what he said yesterday.
One of the concerns that I do have about the bipartisan bill is how they are going to pay for their proposals. And they're not clear yet. I don't know that they even know yet. But some of the speculation is raising a gas tax, which I don't support.
So there's that. And President Biden has said he's also not in favor of raising that gas tax. But how do you get this done when it seems like everyone's on a different side of this? Ruth, I'll start with you.
In the federal spending at the moment, this having this gas tax, using a gas tax to increase for infrastructure is not the appropriate way to resolve this problem. I do believe that we need to continue to improve our infrastructure, but we've got to find sensible ways in order to do that. And we don't want to hurt families in the meantime. And so when I'm in Congress, I'm certainly going to work to find sensible ways that we can reduce the amount of spending that we are doing on our infrastructure and yet still continue to improve the infrastructure that we have because it's necessary and important.
There are clearly some concerns about this infrastructure bill. Again, it's a fraction of what was originally proposed, and we've already heard from Democrats who are speaking out against it. The bill, however, is headed to the White House. It's going to land on President Biden's desk later today. Amy, do you see this bipartisan approach being successful, or will it be rejected again because you hear the complaints from one side of the aisle?
Well, I think there are still some major concerns. I think the one way that we could approach this as possibly spending is if we actually stuck to infrastructure itself. You've got Bernie Sanders. While I do agree with him that we should not raise the gas tax because out here on the West Coast, it's ridiculous. I just filled up my daughter's car. She's a teenager, 25 gallons. It was at the lowest price that we could find in the area in Oceanside, which is San Diego. $100 for 25 gallons. A teenager can't afford that, let alone many adults. So no, we don't need to raise gas tax. But if you're looking at adding things like wanting to expand Medicare, wanting to focus on homelessness, wanting to cut prescription drug costs, which all sound phenomenal, does not belong in infrastructure. So if we keep whittling it down to focus strategically on roads, bridges, broadband, waterways, then I think we're going to come to an agreement. So it does seem like we're getting at least a little bit closer to that.
Tom, is getting to the point where we don't need a presidential historian or political historian to come on and see what's happening here. It doesn't look like they're going to come to agreement no matter what. What is in the future? Reconciliation, things get passed that way. Do you see that happening, or do you see everyone finally coming together and saying, hey, this infrastructure bill looks good?
Sean, I don't see at this point an infrastructure bill moving forward because you have too many cooks in that kitchen. There's way too many proposals. Some of the Democrats, they want to change the United States from the land of the free to the land of the free stuff, with additions of Medicare benefits down to age 60. They want to give free college tuition for community college, free elder care, free child care. It's just endless. I can't see coming together. And the idea that any Republican would sign on or even contemplate an increase in gas tax indexed to inflation. We know inflation is going up. To Amy's point, gas prices are already going through the roof. It is absolutely political suicide to go down that track of raising gas prices. And oh, by the way, they want to spend $80 billion to increase the IRS. One news story has up to 87,000 new IRS agents to chase Americans to pay tax. Here's a novel idea. Why don't we just simplify the tax code and it'll be easier for people to pay their taxes? Only the government could come up with increasing the size of government as a way to cut costs. I don't get it.
Yeah. We'll wait and see again what President Biden will do. That's set to arrive on his desk today. Tom Borelli, Ruth Edmonds, and Amy Tarkanian. And if you guys don't mind, stick around. We've got another topic we'd like to discuss.
Yeah, this one a big one. Crime in America on the rise. Both petty crime